Marie Davidson is a self-confessed workaholic. Her fourth album, Working Class Woman, released in October of last year, is perhaps her most self-reflective to date. A veteran of the global club music scene, her most recent album is some of her most introspective, cutting work to date, and she's ready to poke fun at the industry she's spent her career navigating. She sat down with Chal Ravens, journalist and host of Red Bull Radio's Top Flight, before Marie's performance at Field Day Festival in London. Remember to rate the podcast wherever you get your audio on demand.
My name is Chal Ravens. I'm a music journalist and a radio host, and I'm here today in East London with Marie Davidson.
Hi.
Hello. How are you doing today?
I'm good. Yeah.
And you were here because you were playing Field Day.
I played last night.
Oh, you also played last night?
Yes. I'm going to Manchester after this interview, actually, taking a train.
Excellent. Have you played there before?
Yeah.
It's a good place for clubs, yeah.
Good shows in London and Manchester. Always been good. Bristol also. Yeah, the UK is nice.
What was Field Day like? I saw your show. It was very high up.
It was fun. It got fun towards the second part. Sonically and also physically, the subs were right under the table, so my gear was like traveling, and coming like while I was playing. My machine kept coming really, really close to the edge and to fall, and that's okay when it's like one, because I can just like push it back as I play, but when it's the whole thing, it's a lot of gear, so yeah.
I feel like the crowd enjoyed it though.
Great. Yeah. I love playing for people. That's why I play. I don't really play for myself live anymore. I love making music, but when I tour, it's more like I do it for the connection with people. I hope that they have a good time.
Tell me a bit about what you take with you as a live musician, because you've got quite a lot of
too
stuff,
much,
I think.
It's 7 machines.
Wow.
2 Electrabs, 1 workstation, 1 sampler, Arturia Mini Brute, and Arturia Beatstep Pro, which is a sequencer. I have 2 other synthesizers. The Mini Brute Arturia is a synthesizer, analog synth. I have a JP8080, which is another big synthesizer, and more big. It's not that big, but it's big for my setup. And a Korg Monotrack, which is a small synthesizer sequencer. And I have a Zoom portable multi-track recorder.
What's that for?
It's for everything that's gonna be played back, so I don't use a lot of playback except for 2 songs on my set where I really just sing or talk, which is Naive to the Bone and So Right. These songs are not like played live, it's like a track playing, and then I interact with the crowd. And the rest I use it for textures and kind of like unsynced samples, loose elements, but mostly textures.
So is it quite...
And like sometimes I record my voice, so I use it like a sampler, but I cannot launch stuff. I have a sampler, the electric sampler for like sounds and percussion, but this is more like a off the grid. It's the only element in my set that's not MIDI synchronized, so it's more off the grid, sound textures, field recordings, vocal samples of myself or from films and stuff. So it's like the fun element.
So that's the bit that allows you to not be rehearsed or just be spontaneous.
Yeah, I rehearse my sets. I can extend or shorten or rearrange songs while I'm playing if I feel something. I do like make different versions of the tracks like each time, but I don't jam. I'm not so spontaneous when I play live. It's more like, it's really like a story and also like a bunch of manipulation. So often in a track, one track is leading to another. There's a lot of cues in my live show. It's interesting comparing you to other people who make electronic music, even if it is all live, because you're there as like a big personality. You're almost more like a kind of rock performer because you have the mic. I totally see myself much more like a musician and a rock, like whatever, singer. I come from a band background, and I'm going back to this for the next album, a Ninja Tune actually. Yeah, I'm going back to song mode.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'll be playing with a band.
Are there any particular performers that kind of inspired you at any point? Stage performers?
I love Grace Jones. Stevie Nicks, definitely. So it has nothing to do with electronic music.
Grace Jones,
yeah.
That makes sense, I think.
Jim Morrison, for sure. So, yeah. But for the music that I do, my influences were more like musician and producers. But for stage performers, yeah, like Stevie Nicks, for sure. She's my favorite singer. And Grace Jones. Nico was a big influence. From early on, from like my previous band background, and I was in a band that was more ambient, experimental, textures, a lot of vocals and a lot of layering, synthesizers and processed violin. Nico was a big influence when I started making music in my late teen, early 20s.
Was that the sort of the darker solo stuff?
Exactly. Yeah, or solo stuff. Yeah. Post Velvet Underground, and even post her first solo album, Chelsea Girls, like Marble Index, anything from Marble Index, Desert Shore. The End is my favorite album actually.
It's so dark.
Produced by John Kelly and Brian Eno. It's really dark, yeah, it's true. Usually people say like, oh, this music is dark, and I'm like, no, it's not dark. It's, for me, it's like just calm, or like people associate like atonal music with darkness, and I'm often like, no, it's actually really calming. But Nico's stuff is definitely dark. I agree with you.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely, heavy. It's definitely coming from a sort of dark place, but yeah.
But also really beautiful.
And completely unique, and I think probably overlooked at the time.
Yeah, she's the best. She's like an alien. no one has done anything like what she's done up to now, I find. She really had her own language and aesthetic. I was really influenced by her at the beginning of my musical career, but I'm not. I found my own language, I hope.
It has not taken long. It has not taken long. Hunters, they are hiding from me. A wooden hand, a golden reed, awaiting end for them to bleed.
You like playing harmonium and things like that?
I was playing synths and keyboards and mostly violin. My background is violin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So that could be a slightly John Cale-ish
Yeah,
kind of touch.
I would run my violin into a bunch of pedals, so I would use it kind of like a synthesizer or strings. I would use a bow and the strings, but I would
Like a
use
drone.
a lot. Yeah, some drones and some melodic parts too. A lot of drones, but also like melodic lines into delay and reverb and tremolo, stuff like that.
And is that the kind of thing that you want to do more of? Do you want to work with instruments again?
No, I'm not a good player. I'm a songwriter, so that's why I'm gonna work with my band, with my co-producers. I write the songs and they arrange and they produce. Well, we do everything together, but I mean, my skill is to write strong melodic lines and lyrics. I think I like to think, and their skill is both producing and arranging and composing. So I come with the composition and then we work on it together, and they're more the producer. So at the moment, that's what we're doing, and it works so well.
Do you still do everything yourself when you're touring? Basically, it's just
Yeah,
you
when I tour, I make everything. Yeah,
with all of the boxes, all of the gear
yeah.
going around.
Yeah.
I was thinking that you must spend quite a lot of time on your own, basically.
I spend a lot of time on my own.
Do you like being on your own?
Yes. It's really important for me. If I don't spend time alone, I'm not a good person. I'm married, and even in my life in Montreal, I manage. I make sure that I spend a lot of time alone. I need to.
Well, I'm quite interested in what you do with your time, what kind of things you might be listening to, and what kind of things you might be reading, if you do those things.
Yeah. At the moment, I'm reading a really nice. The book is the Andrei Tarkovsky, the filmmaker, memoir.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. I have it in French. It's called Le Temps Scellé, so it means sealed time. I don't know what was the traduction. It's a Russian book, of course, but I have the French traduction. I don't know what's the English version, but it's probably something about like time, and that's related to time. But I usually read. I'm into a lot. I'm really into psychology. I usually read health, psychology, Jungian analysis, kind of stuff related. Yeah, I'm into Jung, psychology, personality, people.
Are you a Tarkovsky film
Yeah,
fan?
oh yeah,
Right.
he's my favorite director.
Wow.
I have a few, but if I had to name one, it's Tarkovsky.
That's a serious choice. You have to be very patient with those films.
Yeah, I mean, I find that what's really nice about this film is that you can watch them over and over again, and they're so long and contemplative and deep. He's a mystic, so you can really just keep watching and getting to know more the film, or the ideas, the narrative behind the scenario and the images. But you can also just watch it for the images. It's so beautiful. The picture, I mean, he's so talented with colors and light and mood.
Does that overlap at all with your kind of interest in psychology? Do they kind of
I don't
relate
know.
in some way?
Maybe. But I've been a fan of Tarkovsky since I'm 18. But I've been into psychology just for the last few years.
Okay. Do you feel like you would retrain as a psychologist?
Yeah, I'm actually thinking to go back to school.
Wow.
Yeah. After the next album, we'll see. Maybe part-time, maybe full-time.
And what kind of things have you been listening to when you travel around? Do you listen to your own music or?
No, oh my god, no. If there's something that I don't want to do is listen to my own music. I hear it enough. What have I been listening to? I was in a big Stevie Nicks Fleetwood Mac phase this winter and spring. Now I'm kind of moving on. I listen to a guided meditation podcast, mostly on the plane, because I hate flying and I hate airports. Yeah, I get really stressed.
Do you find there's really long ones, like a good 45 minutes, hour long, just some bells, that kind of thing?
No, it's guided meditation because I can't, my mind is too wild. I cannot focus and meditate on my own, so it's like a guided...
To remind you to...
Yeah,
keep
talks about a lot of stuff, but there's a lot of emphasis on the breath, and then thoughts, of course. Try to let go of thoughts, but you can't stop thinking, so the trick is not to try to not think and to block the thoughts. Then you're not meditating, you're fighting. So the idea is to let the thoughts come and let the thoughts go, which is like the exercise of meditation.
Have you been doing it for long?
Yeah, 2 years, since I tour a lot.
Do you feel like it has
I've
any...
been touring for 3 years a lot, but I started using those podcasts about 2 years ago.
Do you feel like it ever has any impact on your creative side at all?
I play better when I meditate because I'm more focused.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so not music, but guided meditation tapes, right? Well, maybe we can put a bit of guided meditation into the podcast. That would be
I
good.
listen to music too, a lot of music at home. I listen a lot to Harold Budd. I'm a big Haruba fan.
Well, that works perfectly with guided meditation, I'm sure.
Yeah, true. I listen to a lot of classical and ambient music, soundtracks.
Was younger and wanted to be in a band and whatever, touring just seemed like such a great, super fun thing to do.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. That's why I got into this, and then we find out it's not the case.
Right, and I think having met enough musicians now and kind of got a sense of it, I think I'm kind of okay with not doing that. But I'm curious about how you feel like touring can kind of affect you, can sort of even change you as a person, because it's quite an unnatural way of life.
Absolutely, it changed me. It definitely changed me. It affected a lot of my health and my quality of life, but it also made me much stronger. I used to be a bit shy to express my needs. Now I'm like, fuck off, man, move over, you're in my space, or like, I'm sorry, I really need this. I really need a bathroom. I really need a glass of water. I really need you to stop talking because I need to focus. Like, I'm not shy anymore. To politely, like, excuse me, I'm sorry, but please, would you mind? But still, I have no, like, and I'm also like, I like to think that I was always quite an honest person, but I'm much, much more honest now. I just have no time to waste on pretending. And that's the touring and traveling. Lack of sleep, lack of space, all that stuff.
You strike me as someone who's quite efficient.
I try to. I try to.
Well, that fits in very well with, I guess, many of the sort of themes of the record and this sense that I get of you as being someone who works really hard.
Yeah.
The record is Working Class Woman. I was quite interested to know why you'd chosen that phrase. It's not working woman.
No.
It's working class woman.
Yeah.
Which is much more provocative, I guess, as a title.
Yeah.
What was the reason behind that word choice?
Well, for me it was not just provocative. It's funny because when I thought about it, I thought it was so clear, but no one picked it up. I thought that it was like a play on word with working class woman because that's what I consider myself. Before being a full-time musician, I was a waitress for 8 years. From 18 to 9 years, 27. So yeah, I had to support myself. I didn't go to university. I stopped school after college to pursue music career. I knew that's what I wanted to do. And my parents didn't didn't back me up. They would probably help me if I asked them to, but I don't come from a rich family. I don't come from a wealthy background, and I've learned to just support myself. It was normal, and it was fun. I'm glad that for the years I had, like, being young and playing in bands and partying and waitressing, it gave me a lot of freedom, and I like that freedom. I like the idea of making my own money, owning just making my own decisions. But also, I thought working class woman for me was three separate words. Working class as like classy in women. So I love that, because I think it's nice people who have class, you know, no matter what's your background or your status or your position in within society. Anyone can have class. Like, it's not money that defines class. You can meet someone that's really wealthy and they have no class, and you can meet someone who's really poor or modest and they have so much class. So, and women is, yeah, I'm a woman and I'm a working woman. So,
on the track Work It, I feel like there's another kind of double thing going on,
Yeah.
because Work It is such a classic piece of vocal to have in a dance track.
Yeah.
Work it out,
Yeah,
work
yeah,
it,
yeah, of
dancing.
course, yeah.
But you're actually telling people that they need to work harder because you work hard. That's what it feels like.
But what I see at the end of the track is not that they need to work harder. I mean that they need to work for themselves. Not for me. And
That's quite an important difference,
that's
isn't
the
it?
most important point in the song. That's why at the end I say, so now that we've got an understanding, I need to explain one last thing to you. When I say work, I mean you've got to work for yourself, love yourself, feed yourself, so you can be a winner. All together. It's very inclusive, and people don't always get it. Some people do, some people don't. And for me, it's like so obvious. 'Cause when I wrote the track, it was really for fun. I didn't have any contact with Ninja Tune. I was not even thinking of a next. It's right after my first tour for the previous album, Adieu Dance Floor, and I was just prepping a tour for festivals. That was 2 years ago, so not the festival season of 2017. And I thought I need something fun to play during my set, maybe towards the end, because it's gonna be big crowds and I need something driving. And I made the track and I made all the music before the lyrics, and then I was in my studio, I just grabbed the mic and I just started fooling around, and all I had in mind was working, because that's all I did at the time.
Work it. Work to be a winner. Sweat, work it. Sweat to be a winner. I wanna smell you. Yeah, I wanna smell you. I wanna smell you even from far away. I wanna smell you. I wanna feel you, so I can know if you're a winner, baby. Work it. Work to be a winner. Winners, work it good. Sweat to be a winner. How does that feel? Tell me, how does that feel? Is sweat dripping down your balls? Well, then you're not a winner yet. But come on. Work it. Work to be a winner. Sweat, work it. Work to be a winner.
So the lyrics came out, it was fun, and that was on the first night. And then I went back home and I was like, this is great, I think I have something good. But it's a bit narrow-minding, you know, work it, yeah, sweat. It's a bit like obvious. And then I thought, yeah, why doesn't it feel right, completely right? Because this is not me. I'm someone who has a lot of empathy. And then I was like, how can I show this in the song? And I was like, well, it's obvious it came. And then I was like, right, I just have to mention to people what I mention to myself all the time. You have to be in tune with yourself. If you're working hard, I hope you're doing it for yourself. If you are pursuing something, career, love, relationship, whatever, ambitions, whatever are your ambitions are, I hope you do it in the respecting the truth of who you are. Because I've done it the other way around, and it hurts. It really hurts on the long term.
Working but not for yourself, for what other people want.
Yeah, or not respecting who you are. And pushing to fit in or to appear powerful or stronger if it's not exactly what you want or how you feel inside. Like trying to show confidence when you don't feel confidence at all, it hurts. You can do it, but it will cost you a lot on the long term. Whether building up confidence because you're working on yourself, then this is something sustainable and healthy.
Because you proved to yourself.
It's the same with appearance. If you're working out like crazy to look like something you're not, first you probably won't get where you're trying to go, and you will hurt yourself in many different ways. But if you're just working out for fun and in respect of your whole body and your whole being, then it's healthy. It's called sports.
The tunnel. What a funny thing to be stuck in a tunnel. I can see the light fading. Time is running out. La lune. Je me souviens de la lune. Elle était haute dans le ciel de l'après-midi. Nous roulions juste en dessous d'elle. Je me souviens avoir souhaité être envoyé en exil sur la lune. Dans le rien, le gris et la désolation. Je m'imaginais purger ma peine pour pouvoir un jour revenir sur Terre et connaître le réel amour. Quel joke, quoi! J'avais pas encore compris que je peux pas aimer si je m'aime pas moi-même. L'amour, c'est pas une récompense que l'on reçoit après avoir souffert. L'amour, c'est un don. Je peux pas me donner entièrement car je m'appartiens pas. Les monstres me dévorent quand je dors. Ils se nourrissent de mes peurs et me renvoient des cadeaux par la suite. Des beaux cauchemars pleins de sueur, ouais. Des démons tournent en rond dans mon estomac et c'est un party. Oh yeah. And by the way, I don't need a VR headset to feel emotion. Reality is disgusting enough, and we all have to deal with it.
I feel like those ideas are obviously, well, informed by your experience, but perhaps also informed by your interest in psychology and stuff. And there are particularly these tracks, The Psychologist and The Tunnel, on the record that seem to be delving a bit further into
the
that.
psyche,
Yeah.
Totally.
How was it easy to reach that type of depth in terms of lyrics and stuff, or is it hard for you to kind of extract exactly what you want out of those deeper psychological
No,
themes?
it's quite easy for me. I just have to allow myself to go there. And to allow myself to go there, I need time on my own.
And those two tracks, I mean, would you also approach the music quite differently if you know that those are the themes, or do you not work that way around?
I mostly do the music before the lyrics in general. The only track that was the other way around on the record is the last track, La Chambre Intérieure, which I wrote the lyrics before because it was part of a show called Bullshit Threshold, which was like a longer conceptual piece with a lot of talking and multimedia cameras and films and projection. It's a show I was doing with two other artists from Montreal.
Does that still exist, that show, that project?
Yeah, we do it once in a while when we get a good offer. It's a cool show. It's like more rooted in theater performance.
What's love? How does love taste? Have you known love? Love takes courage. Des enfants assis sur des bottes de foin tirés par un tracteur crient dans ma direction. Je les salue de la main. Il faut que je plisse les yeux pour les voir dans la lumière éclatante. Ils me font des grands signes avec leurs bras et leurs mains. Allô? Allô? La radio joue dans la maison d'en face. J'entends des échos de voix dissipés par le vent. Il est 7h du soir. J'existe vraiment.
On Your Biggest Fan, there's all this stuff that people have clearly said to you that you're kind of throwing back at them.
Yeah.
Like, are you in a band?
Yeah.
And
I love your
are you
music.
DJing?
I'm a fan. I love what you do.
Do you think that people recognise themselves in
I
that
hope
track?
one of them. I hope the person recognized themselves because it was so stupid. She's faking her accent. I mean, why? If I could speak a better English, I mean, I think my English is quite alright, but I definitely have a strong accent. I'm a French Canadian. Why would I waste my time faking an accent? So, like, communication is so important. Who would want to reduce himself to you? If you travel around the world, you really want to be understood as the best you can. That was so stupid. That was so dumb.
What is it about you? Why are you so strange? I love your music. Wait, do you play in a band? Yeah, I totally saw you. You kind of remind me of, you know that, yeah. What's wrong with you? Are you annoyed? Where are we gonna go? Where's the after? Hey, are you doing a DJ set tonight? Oh, I see.
Do you think that people are intimidated by that attitude?
I never thought about it before doing the record, but I realized afterwards, yes, and that was a big surprise for me. Yeah, some people are intimidated by me, and this is a really new thing for me, and I feel quite peaceful with that. I don't want to, because people, when they meet me personally, they're like, wow, you're so nice, or usually that's what they say, but I can be a bitch once in a while. I can be. Now I allow myself to be. And if someone attacks me, I'll defend myself. That's how I like to think. But I'm quite accessible. I've had people coming to me after showing me, sorry, I don't want to be one of your biggest fans. I'm like, no, come on. Of course you're not. You just want to talk. We can talk, you know. Unless you see that I'm like breaking down or I'm really busy with something else. Don't jump on me, but otherwise I always have time to talk.
I suppose it is the sort of curse of being a woman in public who knows what they're doing and knows, you know, what you want, or, you know, you're clearly getting on with things, and that in itself I think can be intimidating still. I mean, I've I've had people say similar things to me, and I don't understand why. I'm like, oh,
It's
we're all
because
friendly,
people,
but-
people are so attached to concepts and facade. We all wear a mask. We all have a persona. No one in society can exist without a persona. It's just a filter for you to process me outside myself. There is no way you would need to be living in a cave or like in a secluded place to be completely always 100% yourself and transparent. It's impossible. But then people confuse their own persona with themselves and other people's persona with who they are, truly are, and they make assumptions. But literally, to know someone, it takes a lot of time. And I think it's also like within a music world, a music industry, whatever artistic industry, it's the branding also. People feel like they need to know who is what within like a click. That's impossible. And then they get surprised if someone is not what they thought they expected that this person would be. Or people fluctuate also. We can't be always the same.
And I suppose part of the persona thing is that you want to be able to realise the differences between you and your persona and kind of accept your own persona.
It's good for you to know. Yeah, exactly. And accept your persona and be at peace with that, but not get lost into it and know who you really are. And who you are fundamentally, and it takes time.
Back on the work, I was wondering if you were a hard-working pupil at school.
Not so much. I was a hard-working person when I cared. So I was really hard-working in theater, drama classes, because that was what I liked the most.
Right.
And I was really good. In first we say communication orale, which is oral communication. Maybe that sounds really wrong in English. That's speech, I guess you call it speech.
Like debating and things like that?
Yeah, and like going on in front of the class and giving a lecture. Lecturing? I don't know.
Sure, yeah. Almost like rhetoric, the idea of the sort of Latin subject of rhetoric,
And,
but not music, then?
I was alright musically, but I was really into the choir. I really loved singing. I liked violin, but I liked it. I was in the chamber orchestra, but I like classical music, but I didn't enjoy so much playing classical violin. I think I knew I was not good enough, so I didn't care so much. I became a hard worker in my 20s. Yeah. I kind of like used working to build up my sense of self, which was healthy and unhealthy. So now I'm like trying to deprogram this habit of wanting to work and be perfect all the time, because it has helped me, and then it has also Jesus, I don't know this is the word first. It was it harmed me. So it's both, you know.
If we could turn back time and see young Marie maybe on the school bus listening to music, or in her bedroom after school, what kind of things were you listening to?
So you have to ask me at different ages and I will tell you.
Well, I guess an interesting age is usually 15, I think. 15 is when you start to get obsessed, maybe.
15,
or maybe before that.
15, I love Led Zeppelin.
Wow.
A lot of hip-hop, R&B hip-hop.
What kind of hip-hop did you like?
I was a big Tupac fan. Still am.
Is that what other kids in your class were listening to?
Yeah,
was that
of course. A lot of like mainstream pop, hip-hop, R&B.
Was there anything that you liked at the time that nobody else did that was kind of your thing?
Well, yeah, I was since I'm 12, I got really into jazz. Billie Holiday was my favorite singer for all my teens. So that was like my music that I would listen on my own or with my parents. I love Chet Baker also. Was a jazz musician. But yeah, 15, that was it. I guess it was jazz and a lot of mainstream music that I kind of like. The only thing that stayed with me is Tupac. I kind of like don't care about Destiny's Child anymore or whatever I was listening to. It's like blurry now. But I remember getting introduced to Led Zeppelin at 15 and really loving it, and I still am a Led Zeppelin fan.
Wow.
Yeah.
I've never liked Led Zeppelin.
Really?
I just couldn't get that.
Love it.
It's the vocals. I just no.
Yeah, it's over the top, but it's good. It's good.
That's a
over the
rock
top.
performance. That's a real rock performance.
He's a bit annoying, but he's a great singer.
See also most rock frontmen.
I don't know. I really like Jim Morrison. I have lots of respect for Jim Morrison. I know some people don't like him. I don't care. He's a great poet. He's a really good poet. I respect him not just as a singer and performer, but as a writer.
And a close associate of Nico as well.
Yeah. He's the one who pushed her to have a solo career.
Right, yeah.
When the music's over, when the music's over, when the music's over, turn up the light, turn up the light, turn up the light. When the music's over, when the music's over here, when the music's over, turn up the light, turn up the light, turn up the light. Well, the music is your special friend. Dance on fire, it's intense. Music is your only friend. Until the end, until the end, until the
Points for Jim Morrison. What about, so how old were you when you worked out that you liked kind of weird
Yeah, so that
electronic
was
music?
when I was turned 17. My first serious boyfriend was 12 years older than me, and he was a touring musician, so he got me into Nico actually, and everything. I owe him so much. Within the like on such a short time frame, I got introduced to Sonic Youth. That changed my life. That's when I wanted. I was like, oh, okay, that's interesting music. Maybe I want to play in a band. It's not like the music that my experience of music was kind of like boring. And then I was like, whoa, bands. This is amazing. Experimental rock. Oh my God. So much fun. So yeah, Sonic Youth, Nico, solo career, Royal Trucks, which is still one of my favorite rock band ever. I'm still a big fan of Royal Trucks. And then the electronic stuff came in like right after when I was 18. So I was really into Kraftwerk and Chris and Cozy. I love Trop Gristle, but really what really got me into electronic music and drum machines was the Chris and Cozy albums. Eventually later I found out I was really into disco also, and then that led into Italo disco and all electronic music, early Detroit techno stuff, Chicago house, and eventually to club music. But it took a while. I didn't give a damn about club music until I got to like 25. Yeah.
Was that?
I was clubbing when I was in my late teens, but I was like clubbing like mainstream, like hip hop, dancehall, R&B, that kind of like clubbing. I was not like left field clubbing. I didn't care.
But was that available in Montreal? I assume so. I feel like
Yeah.
Montreal has a kind of strong rave scene.
Yeah, but I was too young. That's the thing. There was a really strong rave scene, but it happened right before I started clubbing. And then it died out and something came back, but more like DIY and like underground parties.
Right, that's kind of how I understand Montreal to be now, that it's
Yeah.
quite pretty exciting, pretty vibrant, lots happening, but very DIY.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you still go out, or you're kind of over your club era?
Go out like outside of work. I'll go out like maybe five times a year. Yeah, I love dancing. I'm still a dancer, but I've been a bit reluctant to go out these days. But I can definitely party. I still know how to party. Just these things you don't forget.
It's a skill that you've earned and you're not going to lose it. I know that because you are very...
It's a skill and or a malediction, depending on what you do out of it.
As someone who obviously works on their own, and I think by your own admission are maybe a bit of a control freak. I'm sure that those are your words, not mine.
Unfortunately, yeah, I have control.
What about, because you do collaborate, obviously, do you find that difficult? Or
No, because I only collaborate with people that I trust, that I like what they do 100%, and I only collaborate with people that I find that I'm sure they will respect me and they trust me also. I will never engage with someone or in a project that doesn't feel right, even if it would be good for my career or something. I've turned down stuff, not because I didn't like the person or the music, but it just didn't feel natural, didn't feel right, or the inspiration was not there fully.
Is there anyone that you would like to collaborate with?
No, not at the moment. I've collaborated with everyone I wanted to, or if there was people for sure, but I don't feel like collaborating anymore, so I just want to enjoy the music. I don't need to get it in the way.
Tell me a bit about where you are heading next and what the next few months maybe hold for you.
So I'll be touring a lot this summer, and then I'm taking a year off.
A year?
Yeah, sabbatical year. Yeah, to make my next record.
Okay.
And take a break. I really need a break.
What will you do first? Will you have a holiday? With no music allowed, or is that impossible for you? Does there always have to be music?
No, I'm always working on the song. But no, I can't wait actually to go back to Montreal and work with my band. But I can't wait to take a break from shows. Mostly flying. If I could teleport myself, I would probably keep playing shows.
Right, because so much of playing a show is all the hours of waiting and travelling in between the
Traveling
shows.
and sound checking and waiting and sound checking and traveling and packing up gear and traveling and sound checking and waiting.
Are you really good at packing a suitcase?
Yeah.
Have you got it down to like a fine art?
It's a citrus. Yeah.
What kind of ideas are currently in your mind for the next album, if you can say anything at all? What things have you been
Songs,
thinking about?
stories.
Okay. Because I feel like your albums are quite sort of thematically separate. So do you have a sense of an overall theme for it in a way? Or
Stories. Songs. Emotions.
When you say stories, like, do you mean things that have happened to you?
Yeah. Or things that I've imagined, but yeah.
So actually the lyric writing is becoming more and more
Yeah.
of a focus.
Yeah. Oh, next album is totally focused on lyrical content.
And you will be working with your band again?
It's new. It's the first time actually. This band has been created for this project.
Okay. tell
And
me
we're
about-
always playing solo before.
Oh, okay. So who is the band?
It's my husband, and we have another band together,
Right.
which is Esepa. And we've been working together. We've been playing together for like 10 years, I think. We were friends and bandmates at the beginning. And the third member is called Azael, and he used to make music under Bataille Solaire. Now it's just his name, his producer name, Azael, and he's a really gifted, talented composer, arranger, producer.
And so having extra people, do you find that gives you freedom to experiment in different
Yeah.
ways? Or?
We're not going to experiment. It's not going to be an experimental album at all, but to elaborate, refine, really like production, just arrangements. I haven't been putting a lot of efforts on arrangements in my previous album, but now this is going to be the case, and bringing back real instruments, still using electronics for sure, but real instruments, that's going to be nice.
Getting more towards some kind of Sonic Youth style experiment.
No, not Sonic Youth. I'm done with them. They were great for me though, but I'm not influenced by them anymore, but more like classic pop, classic rock, chanson française. Yeah. Adult contemporary.
That is absolutely the last thing that I expected to be like.
No,
but I'm
people
sure.
don't believe me. They're like, wow. But yeah,
Okay,
people are complex.
it'll be a different persona.
Yeah, and taste.
The adult contemporary face. Okay, those are all of my questions.
Cool.
Thank you very much. That was
Thank
really
you.
interesting.